Riding waves off-field, he's ridden them on-field too. An AFL premiership in the year he debuted, it was a dream come true for this Ballarat boy.
Right foot banana, it's there.
But things don't always go to plan in football. So when this Tiger became a saint, a fresh start was just the thing to rejuvenate his career. He's next. Hello and welcome to Knock Off Sport, to you by Pepperjack Wines. I'm Richo and I'm very happy with the guest that we have for you today. He's a St Kilda leading goal kicker and he's a Richmond Premiership player, Dan Butler. Dan, thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks for having me, Richo. Appreciate it.
Geez, I like the smell of what you've brought in there.
Yeah, got the Greek loaded fries with some tzatziki. Pairs pretty nice with the wine here, so
it does.
I'm pretty keen to tuck into them.
Pepperjack Chardonnay down there. Thanks. We'll get into those in a minute. Mate, let's go right back. You're a Ballarat boy. I went to school at St Pat's College. That is a footy factory up there.
Yeah, obviously nice and cold Ballarat. I've been pretty lucky. Had a lot of draftees out of there and a lot of successful AFL players. So they do well and run a good program.
So they brought out their 50-year team, I believe, recently. So you were in that, and there's about 3 or 4 other AFL players in that.
Yeah, I think myself, both the Crouch brothers were in there. Duggan, Hopper might have got a sniff,
yeah.
Not sure. But yeah, obviously some great players have come through. So yeah, it was a bit of an honour to be in that.
Mate, go back to 2014. You were drafted by Richmond in the 4th round. Were you expecting to be selected that year?
I was kind of on the edge. I think, between, I knew I was going to be maybe late national or early rookie. Didn't really know Richmond were going to take me. I thought I might have been heading west to Perth or West Coast, to West Coast or Fremantle. And when they called my name out, I was pretty stoked.
Mate, I didn't have to go through that. As a father's son, I knew I was going to Richmond. What's it like in the 24 hours leading up to your name?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous. I think my parents were, especially Mum, was more nervous. She obviously didn't want her son moving halfway across, Australia. But I was pretty happy to go anywhere where I could get my chance. And to be pretty close to home, only 90 minutes away, was unreal.
Mate, you get to the Tigers, and unfortunately, you had a knee injury and you didn't play in your first year. It must have been so frustrating.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird kind of thing, going straight into the system and then straight into rehab pretty much for my first year. But I obviously got to spend a lot of time with some great people. Reece Concross spent a lot of time with in rehab, who was really good to me. I think you learn a lot about yourself early on, especially, and it's probably not the worst thing, spending a bit of time in the gym and what hard work is in rehab, to set me up, for the future.
Mate, 2016, I believe you had a mid-year meeting, and there's a great story surrounding your mid-year meeting. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, so pretty much got into my mid-year review. Hadn't played any AFL games, played maybe 8 or 9 VFL games. I've been suspended a couple times in them, not showing the greatest form. I had a long hair and a beard, and
well, you like your surfing. So.
Yeah, I like my surfing, so I was trying to fit in the surf crowd. They pretty much said I was close to the last person on the list, and
right.
If something didn't change,
is that confronting for a player?
Yeah, 100%. I remember Dimmer saying to me, he said, "You're a good bloke, mate, but we don't keep good blokes."
Right. Cheers.
But I mean, looking back on it, if I didn't get that feedback, I probably wouldn't be in the system. So. Dimmer and Choco were into me then, and it saved my career. It was a massive penny drop moment for me, and got to work, come into training the next day with a fresh haircut, pretty short and sharp, and got to work, and was lucky enough to get a 1-year contract at the end of the year.
And it was Choco Williams that told you to get the haircut?
Yeah, he was into me about the hair in the mid-season review. So he was a great mentor for me. My time at Richmond, and he was a massive part of why I was able to turn things around.
Well, you did. You get that contract and you played round 1 2017, and it really was the start of something special. We now know that Richmond win the flag at the end of the year, and it was based around Jack Riewoldt and the Mosquito Fleet, which was you and Dan Rioli and Jason Castagna. It really clicked quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I remember looking back, it was just such a fun pre-season. Dimmer made it a really good environment, and then obviously playing, I was in my team from my debut game, and the first few rounds we were just on fire a bit, and I was thinking, how good is this? It's so much fun. We're having so much fun out there, and obviously had some ups and downs during the season, but to kind of finish strong and win the premiership was obviously a lifelong memory.
When do you reckon the team started believing? Late in that year, because you got on a real run. I think after round 14 you only lost the 1 game.
Yeah, so I think we lost the game against Geelong down there at Skilled, GM HBA, and even though we lost it, we got a lot of confidence out of it. I think, yeah, just different wins and losses during the year really set us up. We had some, I think, 3 losses in a row against the Giants and someone else, but you know, the things we learned from them sets us up for the back end of the year. So if we didn't win them, maybe we get found out in finals. So yeah, all those bits and pieces kind of helped us along the way, and kind of by the first qualifying final against Geelong, we were humming.
Yeah, you win that game, and I think that would have been a lot of belief for the group. So you make the grand final. The Adelaide Crows, they were probably favourites, and it was a tight game early. Obviously, the Tigers had a good win in the end. But Dan, I think if you ask most Richmond supporters, and clearly I'm one myself, it was your goal in the last quarter. I think it was to put us 42 points up. I think that's when every Richmond supporter went, we've won, we've got it. It was your goal. That must be a special memory.
Yeah, you see the vision of Benny Gale crying and stuff, and it gives you goosebumps a little bit looking back on it. Obviously such a special moment for all the players, all the ones that have been there for a long time, the older ones, Edward, Shedder and Koch and Jack, who had done all the hard yards early, and then finally get to be rewarded with that first premiership, to see all the work they'd put in, finally, get a flag for it. It was really special.
What about the celebrations? Did you get down to Punt Road at all?
It was good. Yeah, we had the family day at Punt Road the next day, and then it was a solid few days, which was awesome. Just spending time with everyone and talking about the year and all that kind of stuff was so fun.
Yeah.
It was a good few weeks.
Mate, footy's a journey, and you have your ups and downs, and obviously the next few years at Richmond, and then the end of 2019, you decide to take up a deal at St Kilda. How did that come about?
Yeah, I probably just found myself out of favour at Richmond in 2019. Was struggling to break into the side, and just saw an opportunity at the Saints, which I was really grateful for, and absolutely loved my time there so far. I think my first year was the 2020 COVID hub, so
yeah. Got to know each other pretty well.
Yeah, 100%. We were lucky enough to be up in Noosa for it, so it was unreal year, spending time with new people and meeting new people, and absolutely love my time there so far, and hopefully continue there for a while.
Leading goal kicker as well.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, had a good year. Must have been something up in the water up in Queensland.
A losing battle it was that time, but Butler, as he does so often.
Yeah, obviously struggled a little bit this year with injury and stuff, so hopefully to get back to that soon.
Mate, bit of fun now. I've just got to ask you about a story. Back at Richmond, you're good mates with Jason Castagna. You both love table tennis. You guys had a year-long tournament. Yep. Give us the story.
Yeah, so we both lived together. We loved our table tennis. Like, we'll put something on the line. Castagna was, clean skin at the time, not covered like he is now. So we're like, we'll do a first to 150 games. Yeah. Loser gets a tattoo of the other person's initials with a table tennis bat. And it come down to the final day. We got all the boys over, so we had 50 or 60 people there, friends, and all the lads from Richmond, and got him done. So he ended up getting my initials tattooed on his ass, which was pretty good.
So what was the final score? It was the first to 150. It was like 150 to 148 or something?
Yeah, it was 150, 147, I think. So once we got to around the 140 mark, we saved it, and then played the last kind of 8 or 9 games at the house. So it was good. Now,
is it true that you were looking for a house and to rent, and the house had to be able to accommodate a table tennis table?
Yeah,
that was the number one.
That was a massive requirement for us, and we had a great lounge room for it, so it was really good.
Mate, you mentioned it before. You love your surfing, and you grew up in Ballarat. And I'm thinking, how did you end up surfing growing up in Ballarat? But it's a passion of yours.
Yeah, it is. Growing up, Mum and Dad had a house down in Lorne, which obviously so lucky to have that, and me and my cousins always out in the water, and probably slow down a bit now, but over summer we get down there and try to surf as much as we can. But yeah, it's just nothing better. It's really fun, and I love spending time with them down there and in the water.
Have you travelled around the world? Have you done any surfing trips?
No surfing trips. Yeah. I've always wanted to, but it's definitely on the bucket list. I've done a little bit of surfing in Bali and stuff, but no dedicated surf trips, but needs to be done.
A lot of AFL players seem to go to America and watch pro sport at the end of the year. A lot go to Europe as well, and I noticed you went to England at the end of last year, went and visited Tottenham. That's an amazing new stadium.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's one of the best facilities, probably the best facility I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah, right.
I think. It cost so much money for them to build, and to have a tour of it see what they get to use, and the facilities was unreal. And yeah, if AFL ever gets anything like that, it'd be pretty amazing.
Did you see Ange Postecoglou?
No, I didn't get to, unfortunately. The days didn't line up, but I think Josh Dacos might have gone over and seen him, so hopefully next time I go I can get that treatment.
I believe you've got a good mate that plays in the Matildas.
Yeah, so Steph Catley, we both had the same management group. Obviously she's a left back there, so obviously watched her last year playing for the Matildas, so we chat a bit, which is good. She's a Saints fan as well, so hopefully she can get to, I think she's back in Australia at the moment, but hopefully she can get to a few games.
So you don't actually barrack for Tottenham though?
Nah, probably gun to my head, I'm a United supporter, but I am a big fan of, kind of all EPL, do my fantasy and stuff like that, so I kind of try to follow all of it.
Beautiful. Mate, the Saints for the rest of the year, how are you seeing things shaping up?
Yeah, we've obviously had a bit of a tough start. Probably just haven't got that flow we would have liked to take from last year. But obviously a good win over in the West, which is always hard. They beat Melbourne over there, and I think once we get a few things clicking a bit better, we'll be really good. We've taken a lot of confidence out of last year, but it doesn't really count for much unless we're doing it. So we've got a good run at Marvel for the second half of the year, so hopefully we can get some momentum there and get the Saints fans behind us and back into it.
And some people might know that your brother Sam plays at Hawthorn. Got a good relationship with him?
Yeah, so he's living with me at the moment. So we've played each other a couple of times, and I've won one and he's won one. So he moved in a couple of months ago. He's actually got a broken leg at the moment. Pretty horrific injury in the VFL a few weeks ago, but it's good having him around. I think I've tried to mentor him a little bit and help him out over the last couple of years. So I've loved watching him develop and turn into a great young man.
Before we let you go, Butts, I want to ask you about Ross the Boss. I'm fascinated by him. I think he's a great coach. What do you love about Ross?
He's really smart. He kind of has every role in the team down to a T, all the KPIs for that role, which is really good, and it helps all the players so they know what they need to tick off. But
so it's really clear.
Yeah, really clear. He's just so funny though. Like some of his press conferences and stuff like that, you see years ago, all those old ones, even some of the ones he's got now are just so funny. And all the team reviews he's always got a little clip or something humorous to say. So yeah, it's definitely funny when he's speaking.
No, we love Ross. We love you too, Dan. Thanks for coming in today, and got your little bottle of Shiraz there, but you can take that Chardonnay home as well.
Cheers,
got a case of it out there. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
There you go. That was Dan Butler. That was Knockoffs. I'm Richo. We'll see you next time.